Tagal lang ang internet. Share sound, share screen, share. Okay. 10% now. Enter screen. Share. Okay. And then sign up. Connect ko muna sa system. Okay. Everything is set up na. Hopefully, nakikita din ang screen ko.
Opo.
Okay, good. So, for today po, hindi pala muna ito. So, last week po, in-over nyo yung activity natin for project management. So, let me just provide you some examples po kung paano po i-document yung mga activities related sa project management. Sa amin, sa industry, with regards sa either new product development or setting up a new plan, setting up a build plan. Okay? So, tingnan natin muna to. So, okay. So, let me just search first. Medyo, hmm, nag-iba kasi ng setup eh. Okay. Okay. Project management. So, tingnan natin to. Kung ano lab content ba nito. Nag-iba kasi yung site eh. Okay. Insert task. Hindi to. Medyo mahirap maghanap ngayon. Files. File type. Sige, isa pa. Okay. So, sorry. Hindi ko makita ngayon yung file. Kasi ito eh. Nagbago ng site. Hindi naman to. Testing. ito. Saglit lang po ha at nabago yung folder namin. Nabago yung website link. Okay, hindi ko makita. Last try. Ba't dito na? Wala. Okay. Bago kasi ng site. Give me 2 more minutes. Hindi na search yung okay. Hindi ko makita yung mismo folder namin. Kasi normally meron ditong shared folder na kung saan nandun yung mga status, yung gun chart, we have the phases, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, and then mga lesson learned. Kaso hindi ko makita ngayon. Hindi ito lahat. Hirap maghanap ngayon dito. ko makita yung folder namin. Pero, sige, yun na lang. Samples. Okay. So, ito naman pinakita ko sa inyo or binigyan ko naman kayo ng few screenshots regarding this call. So, highlight lang natin yung mga projects. Wala. Okay. So, ayan. Um, for example po, ng project natin is ito, setting up a new plant, new production line or new machinery. So, ito po, guys, ito yung example ng Gantt chart na ginagamit sa industry. Okay. So, nakalagay po dito yung uh, parang coding natin or ID. Ito po yung sa project management natin, yung nilelet natin as A, B, C, D, E, so on and so forth. And then, nandito yung progress, and then yung task name, naka-work breakdown structure naman po siya. So, kagaya nito, halimbawa, is sa manufacturing and publication, kailangan mo nang ayusin yung CNC, tool makers, and then purchase parts. Ayan. Yung nakalagay po dito, yung start and finish date. And then, we also have here the duration. Then, kirinap niya into a Gantt chart similar to this and identified kung anong araw na. Dito rin natatrack natin sa status. For example, this certain activity, ito pong line na to, hanggang dun lang pa siya. Bakit? Kasi ang status niya pa lang ay 20%. So, kung sinunod niyo po yung video na pinrovide ko sa inyo, ayan, makakapag-create din po tayo ng chart similar to this one na alam natin yung progress. So, paano daw po siya i-interpret? So, for example, this activity with 20% completion pa lang, and then we're at this day, ito po yung day ngayon, it just indicates na medyo delayed tayo. Late yung activity na to. Malino po. Similarly dito, late din siya. Sana naman na nakikita nyo yung difference ng shading, black shading niya. Okay, late din to. Ito rin late din. Okay? Questions? Questions? So, yan po yung ating Gantt chart. And then, nakalagay po dito rin, hindi lang masyadong malinaw po. Pero, may mga meetings pong ginagawa weekly. And then, nakalagay po doon yung status ng project. If there are any like um, sort of delays sa mga project, any open issues, yung mga target milestones. Ayan, binibigyan po ng update. Okay? Sayang eh. Sige, last try. Kung mag-workout. Yan, wala talaga. Saan nga ba yun? Wala talaga. Okay. So, nevertheless, so next time na lang ipapakita ko sa inyo yung sample ng paano kami mag-document ng mga progress namin. And then, yung project, andun din naman po. Sa ngayon, hindi ko makita eh. Nagbago kasi ng folder eh, ng link. Okay. So, okay lang yun. Next time na lang ipakita natin pag na-search natin ang maayos. Okay. So, for today's topic po, we'll be covering forecasting. Ito naman po hindi ko fully i-discuss. We'll just try to identify ano yung mga critical points dito. Okay? And then besides, na-share din naman to sa inyo yung slide na to. Okay. So, target natin, ma-understand yung three horizon. Ito naman kahit i-discuss na ngayon. So, yung three horizons natin, we have yung short range. So, short range, we have medium range, and then meron din tayong long range. So, itong short range, normally, in months siya. Ito naman po, 1 to 3 years. Then, ito po, more than 3 years. Yung duration ng project na yon or nung forecasting na yon. Okay? For example, dito sa short range, production planning can be a forecasting as well. You're like thinking ano po kaya yung magiging demand natin for the current week, for the current month. Okay? So, that's short range planning. And then, ito po yung mga job scheduling. Job scheduling can be treated as forecasting din po. Sino yung i-assign mo sa particular task na ito, gaano katagal niya kaya matatapos. So, those future thinking, those are forecasting. Okay? Dito naman sa medium range, for example, ay may bago kang machine. Yung machine naman, hindi naman yung instant na parang bibili ka lang. Yun po ay it takes time kasi pagka-place mo lang ng order, saka pa lang nila gagawin yung machine. So it may take like 8 to 1 year, 8 months to 1 year or 8 months to 12 months. So ganun po yung tagal nung activity na yun na pagbibuild. So in relation to that, yung forecasting, dapat di-determine mo or na-foresee mo na haagad, do we need a new machine? Do we need a new line? Okay, that kind of thinking ay ma-consider natin under medium range forecasting or under medium range horizon. And then long range planning naman po, this is regards to plant expansion, magtatayo ka ba ng another warehouse, so which will take you like years to construct a new building. Okay? Then dito po sa forecasting, meron tayong dalawang methods. We have qualitative, and then meron din tayong quantitative. So qualitative, sila po yung feedback mula sa sales, feedback mula sa mga experts natin, feedback mula sa management. They could just say, we're expecting next year to have a 5% increase. So those kind of statements ay under ng qualitative forecasting. Okay? Ayun, kung gusto qualitative, so even if sabihin natin na 5% is a number, still hindi po eksakto yung value niya, yung estimate niya. So kumbaga this is more of kind of intuition based on experience, based on surveys. Okay, yun po yung mga qualitative forecast. Nitong quantitative forecast naman po, ito po ay naka-time series. Kumbaga detailed. Okay, detalyado po. Kinu-compute. Okay, unlike dito na i-state mo lang 5%, 10% increase or 3% decline. Okay, dito naman po computed po yan. Okay, so time series, for example, for year-long forecasting. So we have from January to December. So ganun po yung quantitative forecast. Okay? Ngayon, meron tayong iba't ibang techniques dito sa quantitative. Yun nga po ang naive, moving average, exponential smoothing, and trend methods. Pinaka-common po na gamitin kahit saan is yung tinatawag nating moving average or what we call it as well as a rolling forecast. Simple lang po to. Average mo lang yung historical na actual. And then you'll come up with a forecast. Okay, exponential smoothing, common din po siya. Itong trend methods, this is more of linearity or really any kinds of relationship, which is alam kong alam nyo na, naturo na natin last time. Okay, ngayon, once we have a forecast, kailangan natin i-measure how accurate it is to measure yung actual events. Okay? So, syempre, i-validate mo, are we doing good sa forecasting? So, check natin siya in three common measures. Meron tayong tinatawag na mean, absolute deviation, mean square error, and then meron din tayong tinatawag na mean absolute percentage error. Ngayon, kung tatanungin ako, ano most common mean absolute deviation or simply it's just error. Ito yung forecast minus actual. That will give us a range or a gauge on how to measure forecast accuracy. Okay, then we have to develop seasonal indices. Seasonal indices, halimbawa po, ito. So, we have Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. So, nakikita natin ang peak ay nasa Q1, quarter 1. So you'll be giving a higher index, a higher weight sa Q1 kumbaga. So yan po yung seasonal indices natin. Again, may seasonality na nag-exist. Then regression analysis, alam niyo na po yan. Tracking signal, halimbawa po, syempre minomonitor mo yung forecast accuracy. Ayan. So kailangan mong i-track ano iba yung status ng forecasting natin if that exceeds yung tolerable limit tolerance natin. Okay, so kung ang iyong forecasting estimates ay umabot na dito sa or lumampas na dito sa ating tracking signal na to, so ibig sabihin you have to find another way to do a forecast. Hindi na effective yung ginagawa mo forecasting technique. Okay? So ano ba daw pong forecasting? Again, it's a prediction ng future events. Gusto mong ma-determine ano mangyayari sa future. Okay, yung production ba natin, anong mangyayari sa production natin, gaano karami sa isang araw. Okay, sa isang araw yung ating magiging build plan. Okay, so ito pong forecasting, ginagamit po siya in very critical po nitong mga forecast in production planning. Halimbawa, do we need to hire new people next month, next 2 months? And then, ayan, kung wala kang basihan, or kailangan po kasi, kaya tayo may forecasting, para hindi lang tayo mag-react. Okay? Kasi, parang pag nag-react tayo, late na, di ba? Kailangan na ng tao, wala pa tayong tao. Kung kailan na natin nakita na mataas na yung demand, kailan natin na-experience na mataas na yung demand, saka lang tayo mag-hire ng tao. Di ba? Late na. That is reactive. So with forecasting, nagiging tayong proactive yung ating approach. Okay? Proactive na tayo. We think ahead. We think ahead of time. We anticipate ano yung possible mangyari and it will allow us to be more prepared. Okay? So sa production po, ganun po. For example, may capacity issue currently. Ito po, best defection. Ito yung ating production plan. Ito yung demand natin. Sabihin natin demand, yan po, mga demand natin. So ito yung nakikita nating demand sa ngayon. Okay? Then this is your capacity. So ano po masasabi natin? Okay. We can support all the demand. Ito yung demand. We have the capacity here, capacity line. Malinaw? Okay? So this is the capacity line and this is the demand. So supported pa natin. But yung nature ng business na it's too early to call na masusuportahan natin given ang malayo pa yung mga months na to. So halimbawa, ito yung March, ito April, May, June. Okay? Then come April, so syempre nadadagdagan yung orders natin na due for April. Posible, tumaas yan na ganyan. So anong mangyayari? Dito pa lang tayo magte-take action, di ba hindi? Kailangan nating ina-anticipate yung mga pangyayari na yan. That's why we need a forecast para tayo ay makapag-decide. Okay? Inventory level as well, kailangan ng forecasting to determine yung mga days of supply natin. Kasi ayaw naman natin na mangyari na ito yung target line. Ang ating inventory ay pataas or sumosobra na dun sa ating target line. Okay? Besides, ang ating inventory naman ay determined as based on the production and the consumption. Okay, ayaw naman natin lumabis na kagaya nito. Ngayon, yun nga, sa personnel, manpower, planning, kailangan po ng forecast and facilities for, let's say, facility expansion, adding a new machine, revisioning or revising a floor plan to support future demand or future expansions. So, kailangan natin ng forecast. Okay? And to give you an example of how critical itong forecast, so I'll go back here sa ating sample. Okay. Okay, ito po. So, capacity planning. Critical ang forecast for capacity planning. Example. So, you have here, ito yung current weekly run rate natin. So, we have a capacity for this silver finishing, weekly capacity of 45 million pieces. And as you can see here, ito yung strategy plan for 2021. Okay? And then this is the projection for 2020 onwards, 2022 onwards. Okay? So far good. Good position pa tayo. Ito po yung forecast natin. Ngayon, may mga cases tayo na kagaya nito. Uh, not a good option, but sige, isa pa ulit. Ito, critical din to. Sorry, pangit yung example na yun kasi may capacity pang natitira. So ito, for stamping. Stamping halimbawa, if you check your ball pen, meron yung stamp, yung pangalan halimbawa pilot. Okay? So yung tatak na pilot, yun yung stamping. So ginagawa yun, ini-stamp sa ganitong mga machine, sa mga presses na to. Okay. So kung makikita nyo dito guys, focus tayo sa baba na to. We have a current capacity of 374 stamp per week. Malinaw? Ngayon, for 2021, ito po yung ating forecast. For 2025, ito naman po yung ating expectation. So, kayo po, as future engineers, anong magiging action nyo dito? We could buy a new machine, new stamping machine, or new press. Tama, kasi ganun kahalaga yung forecast. You have to anticipate or you have to be prepared sa ganitong demand, ganitong consumption. Agree? Which is inadequate na. Kumbaga, for the current year, we're just maximizing our capacity. Sana malinaw po. And then kung may questions kayo, pa-stop ako. Okay? And for 2025, parang kulang na. Similarly, dito sa ating ibang conditions. So, ito naman po, another machine natin. Capacity of 590. Currently, we're maximizing it. But then, yung forecast, your expectation, usage dito sa machine na yun for 2025 ay mababa na. So, there's no need to make any changes on this one. Ano? Questions? Okay. So, critical po yan. So, once again, kasi kung napapansin natin, dito may mga OEE tayong tinatawag, overall equipment efficiency. So, which is 80%. Yan po sabihin natin na that's the best or the most efficient level that they can run right now. And they could run 747,000 pieces all in all for this press. Malinaw. And they are running 24/7, 4 shifts. Okay, so currently, ito yung kanilang weekly production for the current quarter. And then the expectation is ito na. And then future years to come. So ano masasabi natin? So with the help of the forecast, we could ask, we could immediately take action if we need additional stamp to support future requirements, support the forecast. Malinaw. I'll take that
Opo.
as a yes. Okay. So, yun po yung forecasting and then ganun siya ka-critical. May iba pa bang sample dito? So, ito rin, mapapansin nyo, this is the capacity line and then these are the expected run for the future years. So, anong action yung gagawin mo? 'Di ba? So, we need a new capacity. We need a new press. Okay? So, yan po, nire-review yan ng management. Kasi that could lead to a possible bottleneck sa future kung hindi na yung magte-take action na. Malinaw? Sana po nakukuha natin yun. So, ayan, may mga forecasting naman dito. Asan yung... Asan na yun? Okay, revenue. This one. Okay, in terms of inventory planning, napakahalaga rin po ng forecast kasi kailangan nating ma-project what's the right level of inventory to sustain the business. Okay, so ang basihan po nitong projection natin for quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4 for the year ay based sa forecast sa future consumption, what inventories will be left behind. Okay, so ayan po, ginagamit din siya for inventory plan, yung forecast. Okay, so yan yung horizon, okay na yan, okay na to. Ito guys, influence of product life cycle, napakahalaga niyan sa forecast. Kasi for example, you have a new product line. So initially, mababa lang yung ating expected demand. But over time, tataas siya. Tataas. And then once na masustain niya na yung growth, okay, andyan yung ang maturity level, over time, bababa na rin. Kasi ang bilis ng changes sa technology. For example, iPhone. iPhone 6. So ito, nung inintroduce nila, and then tumaas yung demand, na-achieve yung peak, but later on, finish out na nila. So you have to be prepared yung sa mga raw materials na gagamitin, sa mga machine, kung ba specific siyang iraran lang sa, or specific ba sila na magagamit lang for iPhone 6, ano yung mga plano natin, and then so on and so forth. So, mahalagang consideration po, product life cycle when we're doing forecast. Okay, ayaw naman nating mag-end up ng too many raw materials, di ba, given na wala na tayong forecast or wala na tayong demand, wala na tayong na-expect na demand sa future. Malinaw? Okay, so types of forecast, wala na to, okay na yan. Okay, realities, always wrong. Alam natin na ang forecast ay laging mali. Again, that's only our expectation, that's only our estimate. So, ang galing mo naman pagsaktuhan yung inyong forecast sa reality, sa kung ano yung actual. So, napakalabo po. Always wrong po yan. But then, it will serve as a guide for decision making. Okay, it allows us to be more proactive. It allows us to be prepared para ma-anticipate mo yung mangyayari na sa future. Okay? Next, product family and aggregated forecast are more accurate than individual product forecast. So kami po, ayan, may mga forecast kami kagaya nito. So this one is the forecast na nare-receive namin. Kung titingnan natin yung content, okay. So ito po yung sinasabi ko, we have a production line. Under this production line, ito po yung forecast na nare-receive namin. Ito yung actual results, and then ito yung forecast for the following months. Ngayon, for specific for this product line, nagko-contain yan ng maraming part numbers. So let's say under this mini line, we have 120 part numbers, 120 SKU, SKU, stock keeping units, 120 materials. Okay? So ang pag-forecast po namin ay at the higher level, which is yung production line level. Hindi po namin pino-forecast ang per material level. Kasi po, kapag per material level or per customer level, parang nagli-lead siya sa mas maraming makakapag-accumulate siya ng mas mataas na errors. Unlike dito, na parang without considering na, okay, this part number will grow at a faster rate than another part number. So, yun, hindi na ko consider. Dito, ano? So, parang tinitingnan nyo yung kabuuan, high level, yung forecast natin. Malinaw po. Okay? And then, just to give you an example, kung paano natin yun sinabi na ganun. Okay, let's say you have a pilot, you're a pilot yung inyong company. So, we have uh, ball pen. Okay? So, yung ball pen mo, ito yung forecast. Compare natin sa actual. Then, error. Okay, ang forecast mo, 2 million pieces. And then, yung actual mo is 2.1 million. So, anong error? 0.1 million. That's the difference. Malinaw. Ngayon, pag sinabi natin, so that's a product family, yung ball pen. Pag disaggregate natin, meaning, halimbawa, red, fine, gel pen, sky blue, gel pen, gray metallic pen, and then so on and so forth. Okay? So, kung ang gagawin mo, ang pagpa-forecast mo ay kada isang level. So, let's say ito ay 100K, this is 100K, this is 120K, 200K yung iba. Then, ito po yung ating naging actual. We have 90K, we have 300K, we have 300K. Yung naging actual natin, ito 50K. So, ano ang error natin? So, we have 10K, absolute error na lang po yung ginagawa ko, 200K. We have 180K. And then we have 150K. Ayun, pag pinag-sum mo yung lahat ng error na yan, is it better than this? Di ba hindi? This one, that is the reason kung bakit mas mag-accumulate siya na mas mataas na error pag dine-disaggregate natin. So as much as possible when you're doing a forecast, naka-product family siya. Okay, or aggregated yung level. Questions? Questions? Okay, seems walang questions. Okay, pero hindi po all cases yan. Mayroon tayong mga tinatawag na custom-made part, kagaya po nito, na nakalagay po na sabihin natin, this part number can only be used for a certain program, for a certain customer. Okay? So, ang forecast po natin for those cases na sabihin natin custom build, and then unique po yung kanyang usage sa isang program. Ayan. So, ito po yung mga customized part. Customized parts, one part number is to one customer. So, pwede po natin siyang i-disaggregate yung level or per part number po yung magiging forecasting na kagaya nito. Ito po yung forecast niya per month. Okay, naka per part number po. Again, that is only applicable for the cases of if an item is a custom build production. order or certain tayo na isang customer lang yung gagamit. Okay? Okay po. So yeah, that's the realities, forecasting approaches. It's nasabi na natin kanina, qualitative, more of intuition. For example, new product development that you don't have enough historical data to use. So ito po yung mga, and then quantitative method, we assume that everything is stable, we have historical data to use. Ito yung existing products, and what you have to do is just use the historical data to project for the future. You're taking into account ano nangyari sa past para mag-come up tayo ng forecast. Okay? So ito po ang qualitative methods. Hindi ko na i-discuss lahat. Pero more of experts' opinion, more of sales managers' opinion. And then you may ask, you may do market surveying. Ayan. Okay? So example ng inputs mula sa sales regarding the forecast. Ayan. So ito, nakakakita naman tayo ng ilang, is this the one? Nope, not that one. Okay. Hanap lang ako magandang sample. Okay, so example natin, ayan kay Ivan na lang. Oo. Ayan, may mga fini-feed si sales, halimbawa ng mga information regarding future orders. Ayan. No. Okay, kumbaga yung mula dito eh. Okay, so but nevertheless may mga fini-feed pong information sina sales regarding the future or mga expectation po regarding their forecast, regarding the regional level view or mga estimates nila. Okay, so ginagamit din po siya for forecasting. Okay, so that's sales. So hindi ko wala akong makita ng example pero ito yung mga sinasabi na okay, we expect 5% increase. Okay, and I think yeah, may magandang site dito. Yan, may mga site din po na pwedeng pag-reference na sales regarding the expectations. Ayan, yung mga podcast po. Okay, pakita lang natin yung example ng forecast sa site, automotive. Asan na yun? Automotive. Gotcha. Okay, pakita lang natin guys yung example ng forecast nila. Okay. Nakita ko na eh. Isa pa. Ayan. So, ito ginagamit ng okay, hindi tinanggalan nila ako ng access. Okay, isa pa. Bakit nawala ang access ko dito? Ito, okay. So, ito ang example ng forecast nila. Sana may access pa ako. Ayan, ito for automotive. Dito nagre-rely. Halimbawa, ano kulang? Okay, so tingnan natin guys kung ano yung itsura ng forecast nila. Okay, so ito yung sinasabi ko na forecast sa sasakyan naman na pwedeng gamitin ng sales. So ayan, nakalagay naman dito yung regional forecast, dami ng sasakyan globally up to 2028. This also can be used by sales pag magpo-project na sila ng consumption sa amin, sa fuses na ginagamit sa mga sasakyan. Okay? So ayan po ang example ng forecast. Okay. Ngayon, ito naman po tayo, quantitative approach. May naive, moving average, exponential smoothing, trend projection, linear projection. Time series, you're looking for historical data. Yung historical data na yun ay ginagamit for determining future events. So meron tayong type series components dito. We have trend, seasonal, cyclical, and random. Pag sinabing trend, it could be an upward or downward trend. Seasonality, yan po yung seasonality, normally for 1 year. And then for cyclical po, yan siya. Ayan siya, normally for more than 1 year. Nangyayari yung cycle. Okay, kumbaga mauulit yung cycle. And then randomness, for example, this is a trend. Yung mga noises na po yan, yung distance na yan, those are the randomness. So, ayan po. Okay, we have the seasonal peaks, the trend line. This is the average for the whole year. This is the actual, or this is the actual demand. Okay, and then these are the random variation. Bakit? We are expecting it to be like this one. Ayan, so yung distance na yun, that's the randomness na tinatawag. Then trend component, seasonal. So seasonal, it occurs within a year. So it could be a quarter, monthly, or a weekly seasonality. Cyclical naman po, it happens or reoccurs for multiple years. Gaya po nito, every 5 years, every 10 years, so on and so forth. Then random components, those are considered as residual or any fluctuations, residual fluctuations due to unforeseen events. These are normally short duration and non-repeating. Okay, so naive, ito naman po, this is an approach na kung ano po yung nangyari sa past, yun po yung mangyayari sa future. For example, we have January, Feb, March. You have the actual here, and then you have the forecast. Okay, let's say you have 28 pieces na nasold noong January. What's the forecast for February? Ano po ang forecast for February? 28 din. Kasi you're just taking kung ano yung actual nung nakaraang month sa pagpo-project mo ng future. Okay? Okay po. Then we have, let's say, natapos yung February 30. Anong forecast mo for March 30? Questions? Wala. Okay, so moving averages is the most commonly used forecasting tool, forecasting technique. So ito po tinatawag nga namin sa industry as a rolling forecast. It could be a 3-month rolling or depende kung ano po yung tinatawag nating end periods. Kino-consider nating end periods. Okay, it's just you're averaging. You're moving the average. Okay, let's have an example. Okay, so let's say we have this demand. So you may check din po yung inyong file para po maka-follow dito. Okay, so you have the actual demand. First, let's think of a naive method. Okay, and then let's forecast for January. January next year. Okay? So for naive method, ano po ang forecast for January? Ano po ang forecast for January using naive? Okay, I'll take this as a 14. So 14 po. Again guys, kung hindi nakaka-follow, pasabi po kaagad. Else, magtutuloy-tuloy ako dito. So we have 14 po as a forecast kung ano po yung nakaraan. Okay, so kung gusto nating ma-project yung line dito or makapag-illustrate, so we can just use yung formula na yan to determine then a forecast. Okay, so this is the forecast for January. Okay, now, moving average. So, sa moving average, tinatawag natin siyang MA, let's say 3 months moving average. Okay, so MA meaning 3 months moving average or 3-period moving average. If these are in weeks, then 3 weeks. So, to determine the forecast for January, you just need to average yung historical. Okay? Questions? Again, tatlo ang ating i-average. Questions? Ngayon, to determine the forecast for May, you have to average yung historical April, March, and February. Questions? Walang question. Okay, ngayon, pwede natin siyang extend para mamaya madali nating ma-project yung line. Ngayon, sir, paano po to? So, wala na siyang may average. Ito kaya, kompleto bang i-average? Hindi rin po, kasi dadalwa lang. Yung ating data ay kailangan natin ng 3 months. So, kumbaga, may kailangan pa tayo dito in December, which is for our case, hindi po given. Okay? Questions? So, that's moving average for 3 months moving average. Now, let's consider another forecast, which is moving average using 4 months. Or sabihin natin 6 months moving average. So, 6 months moving average naman po, you need to average once again yung ating historical data, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that's the forecast. And then kung gusto nating makita yung historical na forecast, so ito po siya. Double check natin, 14, hindi rin po covered. Ito, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, good. Questions? Mukhang walang questions. Okay, so that is the moving average 6. Pwede pong moving average 5, moving average 9. Depende sa kung ano po yung gusto nyong i-consider na number of periods or number of months. Okay? So, ito po siya. Kagaya rin naman nung result natin. Okay, next is a weighted moving average. Dito naman po, almost the same as the moving average. Pero may kino-consider ka na heavier weight or hindi po patas yung weight na ibibigay mo dun sa historical periods. Let's say for example, okay, weighted moving average sabihin natin na 3 months. And then we'll be giving 3, 3, 2, 1 as weight, and then higher weight given to a more recent month. Okay. So, yan po yung ating gagamiting weight, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So, ayan. Paano natin yun mahanap? Hanapin muna natin yung sa January is equal, weighted mean lang po to, equal sa dalawang parenthesis 3 times ito, historical actual plus 2 times ito. Again, ang kinonsider natin dito is 3 to 1. Higher weight given to a more recent month, then 1 multiplied by ito. Okay, and then i-divide natin sa total 3 plus 2 plus 1. Then we'll have the forecast. Questions? Questions?
Wala pa
Wala
po.
po.
Okay, so that's the 3 months moving average na weighted po. Nakalagay naman po dito. It will be shared din po sa inyo. Palitan natin ang kulay ito para hindi masyado. Ayan. Para indicated ano yung historical. Okay, next natin is, ayan po, yung weighted moving average. Ayan, sabi nga daw po, ang problem dito ay less sensitive daw po. Increasing the N will make the changes, any abrupt change to be less sensitive, to be lessly caught. Okay, anong ibig sabihin po nito? Okay, tingnan natin to. July. Okay, so ano pong forecast na if 23? Ano mas close na forecast last July? Di ba itong naive? Ito pong MA6 or itong moving average, 6 months moving average, 15.5, ang layo, almost 10 units or sabihin natin million, 10 million pieces difference. Ano, bakit po? Kasi hindi niya na-take into account yung biglang taas nitong June. Kasi tiningnan niya nga po yung historical. In-average niya yung historical. Ito pong MA3, at least na-consider niya yung immediate change niya. Halimbawa, ito. Come June, nag-increase siyang 120. Okay, ano masasabi nyo? So ito, okay, kahit papaano na tumaas, gawa nga po nung 120, yung abrupt change na yun. Pero ito po, hindi masyadong nahigit, kumbaga, nung 120 na yun. Okay? So yun po yung ibig sabihin po nito. If you're increasing the N, it will make the forecasting less sensitive to any change. And it does not forecast trends well and requires intensive historical data. Kung i-gag-up po natin kasi ito, mas makikita dito eh. Ayan po. So ito yung graph niya. Okay? Then i-remove ko to. Ito yung historical, tama? So palitan natin ng kulay yung historical niya. Gawin natin white. Hindi. Historical. Then pangalanan ko lang po siya. Okay. So that indicates the historical data. Okay po. Ayan. And then this orange, ito po yung ating naive. Pangalanan natin. And then, palitan natin ang kulay orange. Para identified na siya yung naive natin. And then, we have, ano to? That is, hindi masyadong kita eh. Weighted moving average, ito pong kulay blue. Three months weighted moving average. Okay. And then, ito pong kulay na to. That is, the 3 months weighted moving average. Palitan natin ang kulay. Gawin kong kulay pula. Ito, gawin kong kulay pula din para easily identified. Then, taas ko lang ng konti. Distinction. And then, this one is the kulay dilaw. Ayan. Okay. So, ayan po. So, kung mapapansin nyo dito, tumaas siya. Pero yung ating pinaka-close po sa kanya, dito again, come September, is itong forecast na yun, naive. Or siguro itong weighted moving average. Ano, pero kung mapapansin nyo nga po, itong moving average, 6 months moving average, medyo hindi siya naging ganun ka-responsive sa any increase nito. Any increase nung nangyari between July to September. Okay? Kumbaga, kasi nga kinonsider niya pa rin yung low months nito na higit, kumbaga yung average. Questions? Okay? Yun, syempre hindi pa dyan natatapos. May tinatawag tayo namang exponential smoothing. So, ayan po. Exponential smoothing naman po, weighted moving average din po siya, pero may weights tayong consider. Ito po, that is what they call as a smoothing constant. So that smoothing constant ranges from 0 to 1 and it is subjectively chosen depende sa inyo. Okay? Ngayon, ito po ang kanyang formula. Last period plus alpha, last period's demand, less last period's forecast. Exponential. Okay, halimbawa po. Okay, so this is the predicted demand last February. This is February actual demand. Malinaw. What you have to do is, ano yung March forecast mo? So, for the March forecast, using exponential smoothing with alpha of 0.1, ang formula po natin, F forecast ng nakaraang month plus alpha multiply by actual nung nakaraang month minus forecast nung nakaraang month. Okay? So, ang forecast natin nung nakaraang month is 142 plus 0.20 multiplied by 153 minus 142. So, magka-come up na tayo sa expectation or sa forecast natin this March, which is kung ano man yung value. Question? Wala po. Okay. So, ito nga po yun. So, result niya ay 144. Okay. So, sabi dito is smoothing constant generally is 0.05, between 0.05 hanggang 0.50. As alpha increases, older value become less significant. So, ito po ang kanyang difference. Okay. So, as alpha increases or smoothing constant increases, older values become less significant. Or yung ating mas less yung bibigay natin na less yung impact ng mga naunang forecast na unang values. Example. So, copy ko lang to. Exponential moving average or exponential smoothing with lagay natin 0.1. Okay? Ngayon, may initial forecast tayo dito. Lagay natin yung initial forecast. Kung wala po itong initial forecast, pwede po siyang gawin na ganyan. Kung ano yung actual. Okay, and then you can use na ng exponential smoothing formula. So that is historical plus 0.1 multiply by actual less the forecast. And then dadalhin na lang siya pababa. And then you'll come up with a forecast. Which is true. Historical forecast plus 0.1 exponential smoothing times actual minus the forecast. Question?
Wala naman po.
Okay. Now, let's consider naman po yung EMA 0.5. EMA 0.5. So, once again, i-consider lang ulit natin to. And then, i-move lang natin to dito. 0.5. Ayan, may forecast ka na. Ayan, pwede rin po natin i-consider EMA 1. Okay? Halimbawa, 1 yung ating gagamiting forecast. Enter. So, that is 1 multiplied by the actual. Then, makikita nyo po, guys, dito. Ano napansin nyo sa forecast natin? This is similar dito sa naive. Okay? Similar po yan sa naive. Kasi nga po, gawa nito. Okay? So, kumbaga, sabi nga po dito, as alpha increases, older value become less significant. Ibig sabihin, itong mga values na to, wala na halos importance, wala nang impact sa mga future na to. Okay? Ngayon, kung i-graph natin siya, this is pangit ang chart ko. Okay, so this chart na to is naive. Nope, hindi siya. Ayan, kumbaga parang naive na rin siya eh, di ba? Sige, remove na natin siya. Para hindi masyadong kagulo. And then this one is Emma. Anong hindi natin nakita? Ito yung kulay blue na to. Which is that's Emma 0.5. Then kulay dark. Green na lang. Gawin na lang natin siyang green. Oops, dikit pa lang kulay. Okay, so yan po yung kanyang chart, kumbaga. Okay? So, setting it aside. Ayan. So, naintindihan po ba natin yung mga formula na to? Simple lang naman ano. So, ito, kung tayo po normal klase, kailangan nyo itong sauluhin. Kailangan ma-familiarize ka sa formula na to. Kailangan, as in, alam na alam nyo yung formula. Pero, yun nga, may mga tools naman tayo magagamit to compute yung moving averages. Actually, pwede nga po tayo mag-data analysis na lang ulit. Then, makikita nyo po dito yung exponential smoothing. Ito po, exponential smoothing. And then, moving averages din po. Nandito. Okay? So, yan po yun. Ngayon, syempre, kailangan nating ma-check yung kanyang errors or accuracy, which is sinabi ko kanina, can be computed in three ways: mean absolute percentage error, mean absolute deviation, and then mean squared error. So, computein muna natin isa-isa. So, I'll insert, unahin natin ng mean absolute deviation. From the term itself, mean absolute deviation, hanapin muna natin yung deviation, i-absolute natin siya, and then i-average natin yung mga deviations na yun. Okay. So, ito po. So, syempre, wala naman tong kapartner. So, mag-start tayo dito for the error. So, gagawin ko na lang absolute error na lang or absolute deviation or just the difference between the forecast and the actual. So, it's the absolute of actual less the forecast. And then, since wala naman tong kapartner, di ba? Walang kapartner yun. So, i-remove natin. And then, mahanap na natin dito yung kanyang MAD. Okay? So, dito, MAD niya is just simply you have to average ang mga yan. Again, pag blank naman, hindi naman yan makakount as 0. So, you have here the average. Questions? Similarly, pwede rin nating magamit siya dito. So, again, to simplify things, ilalagay ko na lang po siya ng fixed sign. Then, ito rin po, lalagyan ko ng fixed sign. Okay, nagwo-work naman kaso walang kapartner. Wala to, wala to. So, i-remove natin. And then, double check lang natin. So, good. And then, you have the average. Questions? Questions? Seems wala. So, similarly, yan din po. So, ito, wala naman tong kapartner. So, i-remove natin. Absolute, absolute deviation, absolute deviation. Then, you'll come up with a average. Next, weighted moving average din po. So, ito, may kapartner tong taas. Okay, nagwo-work. Okay, next. So, ito, ayan. Ito pong una, hindi natin siya isasama. Yung iba, sinasama yan to compute yung mean absolute deviation, pero logically po, parang hindi siya kailangan kasi nga po in-estimate lang naman siya. Okay, hindi siya, it should not affect yung computation natin ng MAD. Dito yung error. So ako po, hindi ko siya consider as, hindi ko siya nilalagyan ng absolute kasi nga po ito yung initial. Okay, so you'll have the forecast here. Okay, next, EMA 5. Ganun din po. Nagwo-work naman yung formula. Nagwo-work yung formula. Nagwo-work ang formula. And lastly, EMA 1. Ang EMA 1 naman po ay, i-remove na natin yung EMA 1 kasi this is similar to naive. Okay. So, ngayon, anong mapapansin nyo sa ating mean absolute deviation? Ano pa may pinakamababang mean absolute deviation? Naive. Okay? So, let's just highlight it. So, using only the mean absolute deviation and then the historical data, right now, the best forecasting estimate or the best forecasting approach ay naive method. Questions?
Bakit po next?
Bakit po? Sorry?
Bakit po yun?
Pinakamababa po. Again, this is an error, measure of error. So, we want it to be as small as possible. Para yun yung gap between actual and then. So, kumbaga, kung ilalagay natin, this is target natin. Okay? So, yung distance, syempre, we want our forecast to be as accurate as possible. Ibig sabihin, ito yung 0. Asan yung 3.27? Ito siya, 3.27. Ang layo nung 0 sa 6.48. 8.72. Masyado nang malayo. Okay? So, smallest, pinakamalapit sa 0. Kasi 0 is, as in, perfect lahat. Walang error. Okay? So, our goal here is to minimize or pinakamaliit na error, which is 3.27. So, that means, in terms of approach, naive ang best so far using the data that we have. Questions?
Ano po?
Okay pa. So, yung MSE naman po, mean squared error. Okay, so mean squared error, you just need to multiply and then add. Multiply, square this one. Squared nyo lang po and then i-average lang natin. So, paano siya gawin? Hmm. Pwede kaya to? Sum product. Sum product nito. Tsaka ito. Testing lang po ha. That's 176. And then, i-divide natin sa count nila para average. Ayan, 16. Tingnan natin kung tama ang 16. So, mag-compute na lang tayo dito. Lagay ko squared para sa mean squared error. Mean squared error. Okay? Ayan, squared. So, ito, i-squared lang po natin. Malinaw? And then, average po natin to. So, tama yung aking sum product. Pero para hindi malito dun sa formula, yun nga po, is error. Hanapin yung error, i-square natin, and then hanapin natin yung average or yung mean. Okay? So, ito po yun. Mean squared error. Formula po niya. Hanapin mo na yung error, and then i-square natin, and then i-mean, i-average. Okay? Questions? Ayan, syempre ito, sorry. Ayan, insert ko na lang ito dito, dito, dito. Insert ko na lang sa kanila lahat. Ayan, and then right click. Insert. Ayaw niya. Okay, so isa-isa daw. Okay, dito. Insert. Correct na lang natin yung formula maya-maya. Then dito. So, unahin natin to. Naka-square, naka-square. Okay naman, naka-square. Then, i-reformat ko na lang po siyang similar dito. Ayan, naka-square naman lahat. I-remove ko lang ito yung mga drawing natin. Okay. So, ito po siya. Sorry, may nawala. Isa. Ayan, naka-square naman sila lahat. And then, naka-square natin to. Average natin. Then, ito po. Double check lang natin yung formula. I-same format ko lang po. Then, ito po yung kanyang mean squared error. Okay. Then, Dito, walang kapartner. So, remove natin. Ito, okay. Then, ito yung kanyang average, mean squared error. Then, dito naman po sa kabila, sa MA6. So, let's remove natin to. 80.56. Sa MA3 naman po, wala tong kapartner. Double check lang ang formula. Okay, good. Then, ito, okay na. So, pinakamababang error base sa ating resulta, mean squared error, ito. So, still naive ang best so far. Questions? Questions?
Wala.
Wala po. Okay. Next. Compute naman natin yung MAPE. Itong MAPE naman po is gamit yung formula na to. Simple lang din naman. You just need to percentage yung ating error by subtracting yung actual less the forecast, or that's the error divided by the actual, and then divide by or all over n, or ating i-average lang po. Hanapin yung error, ipe-percent natin yung error, i-absolute value natin yung error, percent error na yun, and then i-average natin. Okay? So, paano siya gawin? Mag-insert lang ako dito. Hanapin yung error. So, ang error natin is ito, yung error na. And then, i-absolute natin. So, ito na po mismo. Then, i-divide natin sa actual. And then, ilalagay natin sa percentage. Questions? And syempre, ito ay ating i-absolute or i-fix para makopy natin yung formula. Sorry. Ito yung percentage error. And then, ito i-remove ko. I-remove ko muna yung mga values na yan. And then, i-average natin. Questions about percentage error? Wala? Okay, so next natin dito naman sa sunod. So, ayan. Sala na. Ba't siya nag-D? Ulit. Salang ako ng ginawa. Dapat pala dito. Ano kasi ito yung ating ayan. Okay, 0. Remove natin. Wala ka partner. Absolute error divided by the actual. Okay, then naka-percentage. Then ito. Okay, good. Ngayon, kakopy natin ulit siya. Double check natin. So ito, walang ka-partner. Absolute divided by the actual. Ilagay sa percentage. We have 42%. Next. So weighted average naman po. So dadagdagan natin ang data. So error divided by the actual. Good. Random lang natin. Error divided by the actual. Good. And then we have the average. Next. Okay. Okay, 31%. Double check lang natin yung formula. Okay, looking good. Ito po, error, absolute error divided by the actual. Good. Double check natin yung ilang formula. Actual divided by, okay, good. And then we'll come up with a forecast, percentage of MAPE. Ngayon, considering all the MAPEs, pinakamababa. So that means best approach natin is naive. Best forecasting technique so far is naive using yung ating mga tools na or mga techniques na ito. Questions? Questions?
Wala po ulit.
Okay. So, ayusin ko lang to ha. So, you have the name. Ayusin ko lang po muna. Wait. Asan yung wait na? Nais ko lang po guys yung format ano, para medyo presentable. Ayan, okay na siguro to. Okay. So, ayan po yung ating result. Okay. Best approach natin is naive given the data that we have. Okay. And then, yeah. Ito na yun. Questions? Any questions? Any questions po? Wala?
Sige po.
Okay.
Wala naman.
So, itigil natin dito, ano, para may habol din natin yung iba. Ito pong least square naman, alam niyo na to, di ba? Hindi ko na kailangan i-discuss ulit. Trend projections. Madali na naman to eh. Biga. Kaya-kaya niyo na to. Maalam na dito. Least square, trend projection. Yes po, maalam na dapat. Then yan, tigil natin dito. Okay. So, yun nga po, ang application po natin dito ay sa stock market natin gagawin. So, ano bang itsura nun? Investograms. So, once again, you have to create an account po dito sa Investagram. Hindi ko po sure kung nasabi ko sa inyo last time. Nasabi ko ba sa inyo last time? Okay, mukhang hindi po. Okay, just create an account po dito sa Investagram. Isa po ito sa mga gagawin nating simulation. Nawala. Okay. Create an account dito sa Instagram, sign up. Wala naman pong gagawing masyadong kakaiba. And then after that, yun nga po, you'll have to, wala pong i-invest dito, we'll go dito sa virtual trading. Okay, para makita natin yung application niya. And then, ayan. So initially, meron kayong initial budget na $100,000, 100,000 pesos. Okay, so at the end of this semester, kailangan po mapalaki natin yung ating initial balance na ito. Okay? Malinaw po? Okay. So, yun po, paano siya bumili. Halimbawa, syempre, mag-chart analysis tayo muna. So, ano po yung alam yung company dito? Let's say, Jollibee, JFC. Or pwede nyo namang i-type Jollibee. Jollibee. Ayan, Jollibee. And then, dito po, guys, ito, ituturo naman natin or yung pong fundamental analysis as well as technical analysis. So kung mapapansin niyo po dito, nakocompute na nila yung mga MA20, MA50, MA200. So ibig sabihin, for the period of 20 periods or sabihin natin 20 days, ang average niya ay ito. And then using an exponential approach, yung exponential smoothing, ito naman po yung kanyang expectation. Okay? So, makikita niyo po yan dito sa investor chart. Papa-attend din ko rin naman po kayo ng webinar kung paano po magbasa, mag-create ng chart na to. And then, ayan po, nakikita niyo po dito guys, yung moving average. Simple moving average lang tayo. So, ayan po yung line niya. So, this one is MA9 for the 9 periods po ang kanyang ina-analyze dito. Okay? And then from there, you can do a forecast. Do I expect it to go up or to go down or to go sideways? And then kung gusto mo nang bumili ng stocks, you can just go dito sa virtual trade, my portfolio, or sorry, pwede po halimbawa na dito, you just click buy. Kung gusto mong bumili ng stocks and you're comfortable na okay, tataas yung stocks mo. So you just need to hit buy here sa my portfolio. Ayan, number of shares. Ayan, board lot po, ibig sabihin kailangan divisible by 10 yung inyong maging value dito. So let's say 100 at a price of 184. So that cost you 100 or 18,000. And then I can just confirm buy. So bumili po ako ng 100 shares of GFC at 184 kasi I'm expecting it to go up until ayan for the next 3 months. End of SEM po, kailangan yun June natin. So makikita niyo po dito sa portfolio nyo yung transaction. Nakita niyo sa GFC. So bumili po ako 18,000. Kung mapapansin nyo, negative pa yung profit ko. Ibig sabihin, may tax akong binayaran. Okay, that is part of or fee na binayaran. Okay, and that would lead. So initially, ang pera ko is 100,000. So ngayon, bagsak po ako 83,000 na lang ang aking pera. Okay, so at the end of this semester, ang goal nyo po, mapalaki po yung inyong pera dito, ma-practice kung paano po bumili ng stocks, mag-sell ng stocks, para po mapalaki yung inyong pera dito. Okay, so again, this is virtual account, wala ka namang gastos totally other than your internet connection. Aside from that, kung wala po kayong laptop, available din po yung ating Instagram sa Google Play or tama ba? App Store. Sa ating App Store. Available din po yan. So, mas madali po din actually na i-navigate. Okay, on the following days, I will be asking you to attend a webinar regarding Philippine stock market, how to read charts. Weekly naman po, merong nangyayaring ganun. Okay? So, isa po ito sa mga gagawin nating simulation sa forecast. Questions? Questions? Any question? So from time to time, I'll be asking you to, or pag kayo po magpe-present, paano po pag hindi nalugi? Pag nalugi po, okay. So yes, maganda yung question ni sir. Halimbawa ito, dito, bumili po ako ng dito at 12.04 yung price niya. Tapos kung mapapansin nyo, negative yung profit ko. If I'm like, okay, alam ko bababa to in the next 3 months. Kasi yun yung goal ko, 3 months, mapataas yung pera ko. Pwede ko pa siyang, kumbaga may mga concept na cut loss. And then babawi na lang ako sa iba. For example, ito, i-close ko na yung ito kasi baka lalo pa akong lumubog dito sa lalo pa akong malos. So, pwede ko siyang isal, i-close ko siya. Yun yung tawag tawag sa kanya ay stop loss. So, ilalagay natin yung total shares ko, 5,000 or pwede partially lang at the price of, ito yung huling price, then isa-sell ko. So, kung mapapansin nyo, nadagdag yung aking cash dito. So, may pambili pa ako sa ibang stocks. Pero still, lugi pa rin ako overall. Okay? So, yun po yung option mo. As much as possible, wag po kayo magre-reset dito. Kasi pag ni-reset mo siya, parang dinaya mo lang ang sarili mo. Okay, yan. Kagaya nito, i-reset ko. So, ayan. 100,000 ulit. Balik ako sa 100,000. Then, may portfolio di ako. Please po, as much as possible, wala pong magre-reset. Okay, nakikita naman din po siya sa dito. So, as much as possible po ha, wala pong magre-reset. Okay? Para maging back to 100,000. But at the end of the day, our goal here is to ensure na lalaki po yung inyong cash dito. Wala naman po, this is virtual naman po. So, kumbaga ay hindi naman sa tunay na pera. Okay po. Pero yun nga, iiwasan po nating malugi hanggat maaari. So, we have a concept of cut loss. Pwede tayo magbenta kung gusto mo ng i-take yung profit. Ayan. So, again, details, I think pa-attending ko kayo ng webinar nga po. Yun yung kailangan kasi mas maganda po sa mga experts yung information. Sa mga experts, magmumula yung mga information dito. Okay? Questions po? Ang account po na, you mean Gmail account? Sorry? Gmail. Apo, Gmail account nyo, pwedeng UB account, whatever is applicable or mas maganda. Okay po, kasi i-screenshot din naman natin yan. Or ipapakita niyo po sa klase. Okay? And so our goal here is, I think, end of May. Kailangan may resulta na tayo. End of May. One of your requirements. Okay? Questions po? Besides, makikita rin naman po natin dito, may mga records po dito. Makikita nyo kung ano yung in-order mo. So, ma-validate natin yung ginawa nyong mga actions. Okay, kung ba nag-reset kayo or wala kayong ginawa. So, probably next week, once na matapos natin itong forecasting, start na tayo dapat na mag-open ng account dito and then magkaroon ng initial transactions. Para mare-record natin. Okay? So again, further instruction will be given next week. But you may start checking na itong Instagram. Question po? Question? Wala na. Okay. So, kung wala na po, I think that's all for today po. So, next week, continuation po tayo ng forecasting as well as opening your stock market or just virtual account. Okay. So, ayan. Maraming salamat po guys. Have a great day and see you next week. Thank you. Drop ko na po. Okay. And the call. And call.